Whoa, Nelly, let me tell you about aspiration.com. You can go to the head of the line by going to aspiration.com/TYT, and you don't have to wait on the wait list. There's free access to ATMs all across the world. There's no monthly service fee. I know it just gets better, but 10% of their revenue goes to charity. I mean, it doesn't get any more lib than this, and no funding of political campaigns or industry lobbying. So if you were looking for a progressive place to put your money, I think we've got your answer for you, aspiration.com.
As always, freshman Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is getting a little bit of heat following the notion that there would be a list of moderate Democrats who would be primaried should they fall in line with the demands of Republicans. Now, she was interviewed about this because it caused so much chaos, right? And so a local New York news outlet interviewed her about this. And in the first clip, she's gonna explain the reasoning behind why Democrats need to be smarter and not fall for certain traps that are set by Republicans in Congress. Take a look.
There was a group of Democrats that had splintered off from the party to, at the last moment, add a pro-ICE amendment, an expansion of power for ICE, to a gun safety bill, which, and I've said this before, I understand ideological differences. If you are a Democrat that believes that ICE should have more power in this time, that's one thing. If you can lobby for that in committee, you can try to add that to the bill, but to use a Republican maneuver to add this poison pill, 5 minutes for the bill, and then the other 200 plus Democrats in the caucus have to decide 5 minutes before passage, do I choose between the gun safety community and these families or the immigrant community, when these are not two communities that are opposed? The fact that we're forced to choose between them, I thought was wrong.
Okay, so let me give you a little more detail. So the legislation initially was simply to close certain loopholes when it comes to background checks. So for instance, if you go to a gun show, you can purchase guns without a background check, and that's problematic. And so the bill was great in the beginning, but as she mentions, in the last minute, there's this Republican maneuver, and some Democrats participated in this, where they added wording in the legislation that would allow for gun sellers to alert ICE if an undocumented immigrant is attempting to buy a gun. And so that's the issue here. And for the Democrats who took part in that, the idea is, no, this is unacceptable. We need to get real progressives to primary you in upcoming elections. Now, people lose their minds about that. And AOC elaborates on this in the next clip. But before we get to the next clip, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, so I want you to understand there's three different issues here. One is the issue itself. I actually might not vote the same way that Ocasio-Cortez does on that issue. I don't like that they call it illegal immigrants in the bill. I don't like that they give the power to ICE as opposed to another agency. But I don't mind the government being made aware if an undocumented immigrant's going to buy a gun. I would be in favor of that legislation. So that's issue number one, okay? And I don't know what Ocasio-Cortez's views are on undocumented immigrants trying to buy guns. I do know she doesn't like to empower ICE in that direction, and the language in the bill is wrong. Okay, so that's issue number one. Issue number two is, should you vote on that by itself or attach it to a different bill, which is a dirty trick? Now, it's a trick that it does happen from time to time in Congress, but as she points out, these people have been working on this for years, and when 26 Democrats flip over and help the Republicans with that dirty trick, that is deeply problematic, and that I agree 100% on. The third issue is, should you have a list of Democrats who keep voting with Republicans? Now that we're gonna talk about more, because I think that's the core of the issue, but let's go to the next clip.
Yeah, so we will talk about that after AOC elaborates on it, so let's take a look.
When I said you're making a list, what I'm saying is that you are, by separating yourselves out from the caucus, you have made a list in the vote count of the caucus Democrats that is susceptible to Republican manipulation, and frankly will be held accountable by progressive activists and advocates who say stop negotiating away the rights of immigrants for completely unrelated legislation.
First of all, she's not telling you that she's making the list. She's telling you a list is going to exist. In fact, you could take that as helpful information because a lot of these knuckleheads in Washington still think, oh, I'm gonna play these little games that nobody's gonna notice. No, as I keep telling you, you're gonna get caught. Okay, it's not the old days where TV protects you and never lets people know what you're up to. And a lot of the mainstream media, they go, oh, those are process issues, people don't care. No, people care deeply about guns, they care deeply about immigration, they care deeply about ICE, etc., right? And so now the internet will catch you. So she's saying, hey, look, you do with that information whatever you like, but if you think you're gonna vote with the Republicans and not have people notice you're wrong, somebody's gonna make a list. And those guys flip out on her. And this is in a caucus meeting, and it became, according to some reporters, a raucous caucus, which is a name I enjoy, okay? And they're like, how dare you? You know, some of us live in purple districts. Okay, then vote that way. She's not telling you not to vote that way. She's telling you progressive activists aren't gonna like that. You think that your district will like that. You vote whichever way you like. But the point is, people will make a list. And me, my point of view, goddamn right, we're gonna make a list. And we're gonna check it twice, and we're gonna see who's been voting with the Republicans and who's been voting against them. So look, I'm one of the founders of the Justice Democrats. Justice Democrats are going to primary Democrats. So I love that that group is making a list, it's true. Now, there's a number of people in Congress who are Justice Democrats, including Ocasio Cortez, but they don't run the group today. They're not the people making the list. But there are people making a list, she's absolutely right about that, and things like this are relevant. And so, for example, the first person on the list is Henry Cuellar. Why? He's in a very safe district that voted for Hillary Clinton by 20 points. He voted with Trump 69% of the time.
Gotta go.
Gotta go. Yes, we're making a list. Cuellar is on the list, and other people are gonna go on the list. So if you don't like that, well then vote right. And if you think if you're proud of your votes, say you're proud of your votes. But if you think you're gonna hide and get away with it, it's a new day in America. You're gonna get caught.
So there's a fascinating trend happening in politics right now among the electorate that I think scares a lot of these elected officials, especially the elected officials on the left. First off, I think the Trump administration woke a lot of people up because all of a sudden everyone is politically active in one way or the other. Either they're educating and informing themselves in ways that they had no interest in before, and that's okay, not everyone was interested in politics. Because when things seem okay, comfortable, whatever, you don't want to spend your resources, your time focusing on politics. But now people are paying attention. And I think that there has been this trend of underestimating how much Americans know and how much they're paying attention. So it's a whole new animal now. Like there is unlimited information online and people are informing themselves. They're not relying on what they see on TV. They're fact checking for themselves. Yes, there's the abuse of fake news or whatever online, but I think generally speaking, people now more than ever want to know what their elected officials are up to. Are they representing them? And so here's my argument to Democrats like Cuellar. If you're representing your constituents, you have nothing to worry about. But clearly, if you're in a safe Democratic district that overwhelmingly supported Hillary Clinton, why are you voting along with Donald Trump? I mean, yeah, you should be worried if you're doing the wrong thing and you're turning your back on your voters.
If I was in Congress, I wouldn't hide any of my votes. I'd be super proud of all my votes. If you're hiding votes, that means by definition, you got a problem. And we're gonna be the solution. So look, Crowley thought he wasn't gonna get caught. He got caught. And last thing on this, look at the privilege that these people in Democratic Party have. They think, well, I am an incumbent. I am owed this seat. How dare you question whether I should have this seat, okay? And Alexandria, you're part of the riffraff that's questioning it. She won in a primary. What's she supposed to do? Turn around and say, well, now that I'm in the club, I don't want any more primaries, because like you guys, I'm just gonna protect my own ass. No, that would be wildly hypocritical. And so she's not gonna do that, but she's not the one making the list. We are. So justicedemocrats.com, we are coming. Like what you see? Click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from the Young Turks.